All right, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're joining us from. My name is Ebuchi Usibanito, and then you're welcome to this wonderful section today on mastering um, CV and resume. My name is Ebuchi Usibanito, and I'm going to be the coordinator for this program, and with me is
Michael Ikenna Okafor.
Dr. Michael Ikenna Okafor.
Your own very Oga HR.
Okay. So we are glad to have you around today. It's been a while that we had discussions around CV writing, cover letter. We're so sorry about that network glitch. Sorry. So once again, you're welcome to this wonderful section on mastering curriculum vitae, CVs, and resumes. Okay, and as I was trying to introduce, it's been a while we had discussions around CVs and resume. It's been a while, and it's important in these times that technology is disrupting everything. We also call attention to what CV writing is today, what is expected of us, whether you are an applicant, whether you are looking for promotion, whether you are looking for a placement, an internship, or whatsoever that might be, or whether you're considering a change of career, a change of job, what is expected of us in the CV writing space today. So we are going to be looking at both the traditional components of a CV, and then we now look at the technology aspect of it. And my very own Oga HR will be doing justice to this discussion. Now, very quickly, I'm going to share the content of our learning, and I would just want us to follow through. So if you have a question, please feel free to drop that in the chat room or drop it in the comment section. We'll be here to attend to all of that. And please just go ahead right now to the channel. Okay, your subscription is free. You don't get to pay anything for that. So subscribe to the channel. Now go ahead and share the screen or share the link and invite your friends, your colleagues to join us in this wonderful section on mastering CV. So I'm going to share our learning objectives for today, and then I will be welcoming our guest speaker to begin with the discussion. Now, in the copies of the objectives that we have here, we'll be looking at crafting a compelling personal statement, which somewhat is the first thing we get to see in your CV apart from your contact information. And then we'll look at highlighting your key skills and achievement. And then we look at optimizing for applicant tracking system, the ATS, which is more of a recent innovation in recruitment. And then we look at CV and resume for different job roles, avoiding common pitfalls, and then we look at leveraging on design and layout. Now, for the sake of the time we have, we might not follow this all through, but we're going to pay attention to number one, which is crafting a compelling personal statement, and of course, looking at your CV, generally the components of the CV. Then we might have to look at the ATS, and then we look at the different roles, and then avoiding common pitfalls. Then we look at designs and layout, and we'll be showing you the practical compositions of what a CV should be. So permit me to welcome my very own Oga HR, Dr. Mike Ikenna, as he takes on from here.
Thank you. You are all welcome to this episode, and we'll just be very brief as possible.
Yes.
Of course, we know that this CV and or resume, any of them we choose. The reason why I'm saying any of them we choose is that in Nigeria, we mix the both of them up. Even professional HR will tell you, send me your CV, send me your resume, send me your CV. Some put / resume. My very own self, when I say send me your CV, well, I use them interchangeably, but they are quite different. However, a very good CV, people will be like, CV does not give a job. Yeah, CV does not give a job directly, but it gives you a head start over other applicants. So when you have a good CV or a good resume, depend on which is applicable, then you already have a head start. What is that head start? The employer seeing the CV worthy to call the person for a conversation. So at that point, it's now left for you to discuss your skills, discuss your other competencies, your experiences with the potential employer. And I want to believe that after this lecture, we'll receive feedback from you as to whether you've understood the differences and whether you go and tweak your CV or your resume to reflect realities of today. Also, while we do this, I want to know where you are chatting from. Listening from. This will help us also to channel the lecture properly and to give proper feedback. So tell us what your location: Abuja, Nigeria; Texas, USA; Boston, UK; Guangzhou, China, and so many other places that you may be watching from. You've understood the differences. Thank you. And whether you tweak your CV or your resume to reflect. Let's look at quickly the differences between a CV and a resume. What is actually the difference between a CV and resume? So looking at your screen, see that first of all, it has to do with the length. CV can take more than 2 pages, but resume cannot or shouldn't take more than 2 pages. But that also depends on who owns it, and of course which kind of job you want to apply for. But in a typical sense, your resume, it's very lengthy because of kind of information that it contains. But your CV don't have your resume don't have that kind of length, but your CV is very, very lengthy. Now, the content. When you come to content, you have your detailed academic history, your credentials, your experiences, publications, project achieved, and projects and other achievements you have made. Maybe because of your work, you were able to, let me take let's say you're working on that transportation, fleet management, for instance. You are able to initiate a process that all vehicles are now being tagged or monitored or tracked. They're able to pull off that project. It comes off under your CV. But in the resume, you can hardly pull it through. What are you going to do? It's most likely to reflect in your job description. Why? Because resume is more concise, highlighting more of your skills and your qualifications only. Now, the purpose for CV is usually academic driven, for those into research, for those into most people in NGOs are advised to use CVs. Most people in the educational line, teachers, lecturers, researchers, writers, are advised to use CV when what you are doing is project-based. When it is project-based, you're advised to use it because that's where you can highlight all your achievements and all that you've done. Why for resume, it's more of corporate setting because it gives a snapshot of what you've done. It is now maybe at the interview stage that you have the opportunity. Remember, I said that in Nigeria, we mix it up. Some of us have the blend of this and the blend of that. And it's not also out of place anyway. But when you are going for an certain job roles, pay attention to what they are demanding for. They might be demanding for your CV and you're giving them a resume, and you're demanding for a resume and giving them a CV. Those are kind of few mistakes that applicants make, and they don't get a job, which we are going to see later. Common usage, we'll talk about the common usages, which has to do academic research, project-based, grant, scholarship, fellowship, and maybe vestiture when you want to be given an award. The other one is in corporate world. Okay, so the focus, it has a total with a CV, you can tell totality of somebody. You can write a book about a person. With CV, you can actually write a book about a person. It has majorly all the achievements you want, everything you need to know about the person. And when using to apply for a job, it's almost like it can fit in to any job. It's open, it's not closed, it's not specific. But when you come to resume is very specific. That's why I always say that every you hear this, like most jobs, you should tailor your cover letter and your resume to fit into the job. It doesn't mean that you always change your resume, no. But they're just common tenses, keywords that you may have to add to be able to fit in. Then structure. There is a chronological order for it. Usually it starts from the newest to the oldest. From the newest to the oldest. For those into lecturing, we agree with me, and also scholarship will agree with me that what you see first is your bio data. You see your bio data, and something like in CV, your age is it's a big deal. You must have your age there. So you have your age, you have your local government, you have your town, all those things that we now in the corporate world will be like, we don't need. That's because we are dealing more with resume. But CV need all those things. Resume will be like, no, I don't need all those. Your date of birth is not relevant to me. What I need is your skills, what you can do, how you work, your experiences. Okay. Then updating, it's updated less frequently as needed, which is not the case of resume. Updates regularly to reflect the recent experience that you have, because if you most likely you're in a fast-paced growing environment, you're in the tech world, you are in all kinds of places. So you must reflect the current trend of your industry, the current trend of your position, current trend of your experience, current certifications, but not really like that when it comes to CV. However, if you are having a blend of the both of them, you should also see how you can update it as regular as possible.
Okay, so we've seen the basic differences between a CV and a resume, and we don't want to go on trying to define what a CV is or what a resume is not and all of that. But what we want to show you is practically what each of them should be and what they should contain, especially in 2024. We might not be able to say for 2025 because several things could have happened before then. All right, so one more time, go ahead, share the link in case you've not. And for you to be able to comment, if you've not subscribed to the channel, the chat section will be able to get activated for you. So you have to subscribe, just hit the subscribe button. And then we want to know where you're joining us from. Let's know your location, where you're joining us from. And that will be very important. Thank you so much. And let's continue with Dr. Mike. And if you have any question, please drop them in the chat, in the comment section. Drop all your questions in the comment section. We're going to have a beautiful time to answer all of your questions. Feel free to drop your comments, your questions in the comment section, and we'll pick it up from there. Thank you.
Okay, so where to use each of them? For those in the academics, be you a teacher in high institution, in either higher, middle, or lower institution, it's advisable to use CV. When you're in a research institute, business school, academic driven background, kind of work setting, you are to use a CV. When you're working on grant and scholarship, you use your CV, because at that place, they want to see there might be other projects you've done, not directly linked. People always ask me that, okay, so for instance, I've not gotten an actual experience, but I have done so thing. That is where that may come in when you're looking for grants and scholarship. You show some other project that you've done, but that can be linked to that. So that comes under CV. Certain professional positions, maybe when you are being appointed, like I said, when you are giving when to give a citation and recognition, kind of an award, an honorary award, so on and so forth. So you get to use your CV. However, the sister, which is resume, you get to use it mostly in the private sector. Remember, I said that in this, it's not too detailed. It gives a snapshot about what your potential employer or the person asking for it needs to know. Then for internship, because you don't have much of experience, mostly for entry levels to use that. Most job applications use it. I advise a resume for most people who are coming into entry level. That's 0 to 3 years of graduation. Use resume till you grow higher in your career. Key sections of CV/resume. So we're not taking any particular order, but we just want to highlight the things that should be seen in either of them. Of course, number one is your name. Your name should be there, boldly written, clearly written. Okay, don't go and use a font that will not bring it out. Okay, or that all these calligraphic fonts. Use a very simple font, Times New Roman, Tahoma, Calibri, and all those simple fonts. Then your phone number, not phone numbers. So put one number that is going, put one number that is available always. Sometimes we go and put 3 numbers. Now, the bias of the person who is looking at him might just have a network in mind that he loves. And once you try that network, it didn't go, that's all. You'll not bother to go and, because nobody wants that stress. I'll try your first number, it didn't go. Try your second number, it didn't go. Try your third number. You know, in my area, there was no lights, all true. So to be safe, just put one number that you are sure that anytime, any day, it will get to you. Have your email there. Email address is also very important. I would not like to market for any particular email company, but of course, there are some emails that you shouldn't use, some domains you shouldn't use. So use email, then have your email, your LinkedIn profile. Your LinkedIn link should be at your CV. You see, LinkedIn is very powerful. For some of us are very active there. I can tell you that we know how many professional network we have there, how many businesses we close out there. So have your LinkedIn, have meaningful engagement on people's messages, posts on LinkedIn. Then your address. Now, the address, you don't need to put number 5 Olarokun Street, Agege, Lagos, or number 10, Abdullahi Adamu Close. No, you don't have to put that. You can just put Surulere, Lagos, Lekki, Lagos, Maitama, Abuja, Nnewi, Anambra, and all those. You don't have to put definite address. That's for why you don't do that for security reasons, and why you need to put your address of location, not specific, is because to give a recruiter an inclination of where you are, whether he or she should make application for accommodation for you or not, or whether they should do a visual interview or not. Summary and or objective. After that, you should have your summary and objective at the top of it. Why should you have that? It gives the person a snapshot like what you have in business now, which is an executive summary. With that, I can tell what are your strengths in fact, what line of career from your summary. I can tell if this CV is owned by an account person or an administrative person or an engineer. And if it's an engineer, what kind of engineer? Okay. How many years of experience this person have? What this person is doing. So if you are a civil engineer, your strength is on superstructure, for instance, or substructure. Okay, I'm an engineer with 25 years of experience, mainly on superstructure and blah, 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 blah. So I will not, if I'm looking for a superstructure engineer, you are the guy to call. Okay. Then let it address the job. Let's address that role that, okay, you're capable of handling that role or a role also similar to that. So you have to be specific. I might say things like, I am a graduate who is adept and adept in the use of computer, whereby it's tailored into the integrated objectives of the institution, whereby we now get the cumulative, just big grammar. You don't have to have all those big grammars. Just have it simple. And also another thing I also see is that I don't know whether ChatGPT has done more good than harm, but I just people just go and download ChatGPT without editing it and domesticating to reflect them. I was chatting with a lady 2 days ago, and she was using ChatGPT to reply me. So when I type, she'll go and put it, and I was like, what's going on? She's not, that's how I know someone should be thinking. It was sounding robotic to me. So I say, are you using ChatGPT to reply me? And even when she was trying to list some things to me, it was just too aligned. She said, no, that she's using ChatGPT. Why are you doing that? So even when you're using that, it's just to give you an idea, okay? Then professional experience, list your work experiences, your job titles, the company, and the location, very importantly. You see, I don't know, I was shortlisted for a particular job, and this person had a very wonderful CV. I didn't shortlist that person in why? Because I didn't see the location of where she have worked all through, where the companies are located. So if you say Julius Berger where? Is it Julius Berger in Benue, Julius Berger in Adamawa? We need to see that. There's a reason for that. So if we have positions open in the north, because you've worked more in the north, I'm likely to shortlist you for positions in the north where you're more comfortable, where you can speak Hausa easily, where you can survive, right? Then you should have dates, months, and the year. Months and the year, your responsibilities, and also your achievements, okay? It should be clearly written. Your educational qualification should also be there. All the schools you've attended. There's this thing that's happening. We remove primary school. Well, that's optional, kind of, especially when you've had so many degrees, right? Postgraduate degree. I can say take away primary school. Then institutions and names, degree. You don't need to put grades. Someone sent me a CV and I'm saying account, second class, lower. Account, first class. See, whether first class or second class, lower, it can make you not to actually get a job.
Yeah.
Some people can just see first class, these are the first class students, because there's this perception that we have, and one of them, so please pardon me, that we have about perception that they are just too bookworm. They are just too direct to the book, where you need to use applied knowledge. They may not be there. So some of us would rather prefer a 2-1, 2-2, and even a third class or a pass that is very, very smart. Okay. So, but remove that bias from our mind. Remove that bias totally. Don't allow us to think that way. Don't lead us into temptation to think into that way. So just allow us to believe that you're a graduate and you're a graduate. It doesn't matter.
Into temptation.
It doesn't matter. So relevant coursework, especially when you are relevant coursework, especially when you are into the NGO space, project-based space, they need to see it where you have articles, but we'll see that at the additional session. Then your skills. What kind of skills do you have? Are the skills related to the job? Are they necessary? Are they what, we aid you in achieving the original goal that we used to write at the summary of our CV? Then, lastly, certifications, licenses, publications, research work done, volunteer experiences, awards you've gotten, best award, staff award. Please remove SUG Aluta, SUG president. Why it shows, you have to know where to use it. Why it shows that you've handled leadership. It also may give a thinking to the employer that this one is coming to shut down my company. Any small you say, no, no. So you can put other experiences that shows that you've handled leadership in school, but not just SUG related, okay? Put your publications, projects you've done, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we are on crafting a compelling summary. So what have you gotten so far? I want to see that in the comment section. I'm waiting until in the comment section what you've gotten so far. What have you gotten so far? Let me just look at the comment section now and see what we are posting there.
Okay, so while we are doing that, please feel free to let us know exactly what you're learning from this section, your experience with the lecture so far. We want to see that in the chat room. Okay, we want to see that in the chat room. So Dr. Mike has said so much about the components of a CV, and like I said when we started, we'll review what a CV is. Okay, we'll review what a CV, the components of a CV, the components of a resume. But much more importantly, the essence is for you to check yours and be sure that you're still in line. Okay, be sure that you're still in line. Now, most often we see situations where CVs do not really show what the person is. Okay, so maybe you got a contractor who did that CV for you. You got someone who wrote the CV, or you copied somebody's CV. So you have to be the one developing your CV, and you have to be very careful about these components that have been highlighted. And on these additional sections can actually make a difference. This is where you could gain competitive advantage over the job being advertised. Your professional certifications, your licenses, if any, your publications are research. Now we have LinkedIn, and you can write as many publications as possible there, okay, for you to express your professional stance on things. And of course, your professional affiliations, or what we call professional membership. Not every one of us yet to understand what professional membership is all about, but it is an integral part of your professional journey. If you call yourself a certified professional and then you are not a member of a professional body, then something is missing. Okay, and there is this error that most of it is it an error? Yeah, I call it an error because most people get to have professional certifications, but they don't belong to any professional body. So what really makes you a professional? It is not the professional certification that makes you a professional. It is the journey that makes you a professional. So it is your membership or affiliation with a particular body, a professional body, that shows that, yes, you are on this journey for a lifetime, not just for the sake of the paper. Okay. And of course, he talked about the volunteer experiences and projects and awards and all of the honors. Okay. So one more time, we want to see what is your experience. If you have any question, if you have any concern, just drop it in the comment section, and please be reminded to go ahead, share the screen, let us know, let your friends know what the discussion is all about. Please don't leave this section until we are done, because there are technologically driven areas that we need to touch. Okay, even if we have any form of network challenges, stand by, and we'll get all this sorted out today, and I trust it will be a wonderful one. So I'll be handing over back to Dr. Mike. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm seeing Maxwell Itua Emi here. He said the basic sections that a good CV needs to have and what to include. So this is what he has learned. Someone is asking, don't you think the CV should align with the relevance of job you are looking for? We've said this earlier. We've said that earlier. It's in Francis. Thank you.
So just to reiterate, your CV must be in line with the job you're looking for, the job role, the job description. Okay, so we don't just use generic CVs everywhere. So maybe you're applying for a data analyst today, and tomorrow you're applying for a software engineer. The CV shouldn't just be the same. Okay, the CV or resume should be tailored for the job you are currently pursuing, either for the job or the position or the career you want to get into. All right, so this is very, very important.
Okay, so crafting a compelling summary. How to write a strong personal statement or career objective.
Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, it needs to be concise. It needs to be as direct as possible.
Mm-hmm.
We encourage maximum, 5, or even let's say, depending on years of experience now, let's say 10 years. Okay. But that's even when you're dealing with a CV, not resume. So you have to be very direct. So go back now. Let's make it very practical. Go back, open your CV, go to your personal statement, that's a summary. If you can, if you want, copy it and paste on the comment section. Let's give you a direct feedback on that. So first of all, it needs to be very concise. So it needs to focus most on your skills, what you can do, your IT skills, your soft skills. It should focus on, in fact, let me just broaden it on your soft skills and your hard skills. Okay, so if you're an engineer, for instance, you should a mechanical engineer, you should show that you can handle maybe heavy duty equipment, you can handle some heavy big mechanical machines, then you can also communicate, you can lead. Okay, because as an engineer, that's just one example. There is that temptation of believing that you don't have to lead, you really have to know how to operate machines. Showcase your value, okay, what you stand for, and what is that unique selling point of yours. What is that key thing you're going to, that is your strength? Then use action words. Use action words of how it reflects your job. Don't just go and use don't be passive. Don't use passive verbs. Use active verbs. Okay. One day in an English class, but just go and check passive and active verb. So be specific and show your skills, your experience in this line. So you have 8 years of experience. I should be able to see it there.
Yeah.
I should be able to see that it is key. It is the basic of this session as well. Avoid generic statements like the one I said. I am since I can see someone I know online who is in the HSC. They say I am a HSC officer who can use HSC to preventive corrective measures in this thing and achieve organizational goal. No, be specific. That you can use HSE, you can handle the preventive aspect of HSC in an oil and gas company.
Yeah, specific.
You have to be specific. Yeah. And you can also enforce, you can enlighten. How many E's? I think it's 5 E's in safety. So you use those as specific statement to drive home your point. Include a career goal in what you, as Enna say, you are looking forward to work with a company that maybe it's an SME you want to work for. Maybe it's an SME that's your catch in working. It might be just multinational. It might be non-structured company. Some people may just want to work for non-structured company. That is their goal. There is less competition there. So it can be any of these, but you have to be specific, right? So tailor the CV to the job description. How do you do that? First of all, look at the job description. People don't pay attention to job advertisement. So they all see that they need a driver. So they'll look at the heading driver. How much? 70,000. Where? Abuja. They go and apply. No, all driver is not driver. All driver no be driver. So it may be what they need is a heavy duty driver or a bus driver or a driver who can drive long distance or a driver who understands inside Oyo and Ibadan or a driver who knows road in Sokoto. All this will be seen in the job requirements. It will be listed there. The qualifications, the years of experiences. So you have to align this. You have to look at it. Does it match with what I have? Where, let's say they need 10 years and I have 8 years. Yes, 2 years plus minus is not out of place. You can apply for such job, but you have to make it to match with the recruiter's requirements. If possible, those days, what I even do those days is that I pick some of the paragraphs and put in my CV.
That's right. That's right.
So I pick those paragraphs, I look at the keywords and put on my CV. Then what I want. Okay. So you don't have to just limit yourself to your CV. That your CV came from somewhere. There's nothing that is built on nothing. Everything was built on something. So when you are doing that, ensure that you study the requirements very well. For instance, if the driver, they need a driver that understands Nasarawa State. In that, you mention it that I'm a driver that understands the route in so place, and I can also drive long journey. Okay, so don't just go and say you are a driver. If you are also a HR, this is a very typical example. You are a HR and they are looking for a HR that have worked in the manufacturing sector. So just go and say, I'm HR with 12 years of experience. I have managed people. I've done this. I've done that. Those are basic. Those are basic. But what is the specific? Now you now say, I have worked in the manufacturing sector, specifically the ones that produce biscuits. If it's a biscuit company, for instance, okay, or if it's a manufacturing, or if it's a plastic producing company, you can go ahead to mention it there, because that's how the ATS works. They pick keywords. So if I am applying for HR, they shouldn't be saying budgeting, costs, account receivables in my CV, accounts payable, balance sheet. No. ATS will know that this is not an HR guy, this is an accounting guy trying to apply for this job. But they should be seeing it's jobless. They should be seeing employee engagement, performance, organizational development,
Yeah,
and all of those. They should be seeing all those kind of terminologies. Okay, if possible, if you know the company, go and look at them and see what they want to achieve. Check out their annual strategic goal. For those in the banking sector, it's very easy to get all that information, or multinational or well-structured companies. It's very easy to get all of those. So let's look at this example of effective summaries. So number one, we're looking at the marketing manager, and it says he's a result-driven marketing manager with over 10 years of experience in developing and executive marketing strategies. He has a proven track record of increasing brand awareness and driving sales growth.
strategic keywords.
Adept in managing cross-function teams and optimizing marketing budget. You can see that the keywords there: results, marketing, years of experience, marketing strategy, sales, brand. So with this, like I know that. So imagine if I see this opening statement, optimizing. I see this, and he also showed that I can manage team because he's a manager. So if I see this statement now for someone applying for account, I'll know that there's something wrong with this person. Okay, so look at the other one. innovative software engineer with 5 years experience in full stack development, developed skilled in Java, Python, and React with a strong background developing scalable web, blah, 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 blah. This person now is a software engineer. So if it's applying for social media influencer, I'll know that there is a problem. Even there is back end and front end, for instance, in the engineering, it's one of the complex career we have when we are trying to get people. So so if it's a back end person, I should be able to see those kind of languages there, use of C sharp and so on. And then if it's front end, I should also see those other languages.
And even as a recruiter, you need to also understand these languages. When I mean understanding the language, I mean if you're recruiting for a particular industry, you should be able to understand the language that works there.
Yes.
So for some of us that are HR, that our specialization makes it open that we can recruit for anybody. So if you're recruiting for a medical industry, you should understand the keywords there. If you're recruiting for IT firm, you should know the keywords there. If you're recruiting for maybe an institute like IPM, you should know the keywords there. So this issue of understanding the keywords is very, very important. Okay, thank you. I just wanted to add that.
Yes, especially for HR. I remember myself, I've worked in a lot of interesting industries. I've worked in the hospitality where my career started. And so when you're talking about F&B, I don't need to start, I need food and beverage. Now, just say F&B, and we understand ourselves. We understand cashier for front office and cashier for F&B. When I'm doing the shortlist, I know what I'm looking out for. Okay. When I was in the health, I read before the interview. In fact, before I even shortlist, I read about the position. So when you say I need nurses, what kind of nurse do you need? Is it just a nurse, a midwife, a peri-op nurse, an ICU nurse, and even the ICU? Is it a NICU? Is it PICU? Or when I say NICU is neonatal. When I say PICU, it's pediatric. So all those things you need to understand. So sometimes when I post job and I say I need a NICU nurse and who understands PICU, and you're not asking me, I'm qualified for the job, but what is NICU? You are not qualified. You can't be qualified for that kind of job. You're a nurse, you don't know what NICU and PICU. So
the jargon.
The jargon.
Yeah.
We do all those things sometimes to we do all those things sometimes to codify the recruitment to get those specific people.
Yeah.
All right. So we will not bother on this. So okay, let's just take this for the sake of our. I'm still waiting for you to type your
location.
Not location. Their statement. Their
okay. The career objective.
Career objective.
Yeah.
And that thing you can also
given quite a number of examples.
Yes, you have given quite a number of examples. And that thing again, because we are going to the next phase.
And don't use ChatGPT.
Please don't use ChatGPT.
Don't use any AI tool.
Let it flow from you.
Let it come from you.
Let it come from you.
Do an assessment of yourself and give a very, even if you want to use ChatGPT, you need to give ChatGPT a background of what you want to come up with.
In fact, that's something I did. I put my statement, my summary, and pasted on ChatGPT. It didn't go far from what I wanted.
Yeah.
It gave me what I want. But what I did was that some words it's using that once I see, I know these are usually ChatGPT, so I took those words out. And so but again, also on skills, I mean something on skills. Like this danger we do on skills, we would like use of computer. On that skill, just this use of computer, communication. What does that mean? What's the meaning of the communication? Okay, so I can say communication. I'll put up apostrophe. What is that called? Column. And I'll be like, I have a bad. I can help you complete it. I have a bad communication. Maybe that's what you meant. So let that skill part explain what you use communication to do. If you're a nurse, for instance, I have a good communication skills that I use in relating to my patient and their relative. Okay. If you are talking about IT skills, you have a good knowledge of IT, the use of ERP, of maybe basic tools like Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel in reporting and presenting your data. And you also use advanced computer tools like ERP. You can go ahead to mention them, Odoo, SAP, and so on and so forth. So you have to mention, don't just list. Don't list. Mention what it is. You see some HR, you see labor law. What has labor law done to you?
Minimum wage.
Minimum wage. No, you have to do that. Have a good understanding of the labor law and application in the manufacturing sector or in the white collar sector. So thank you for now. This is all from me. I will be on standby while Mr. Bonito will take it from here.
Okay, so Dr. Mike has taken the time to give us a very good background of what our CVs should look like, what the composition of our CVs should look like. But just as I was discussing with someone today, I said it's over 10 years that I actually talked about CVs. It's over 10 years I talked about CVs. But in these 10 years, I'm not like Dr. Mike that is every day on CV because he's always recruiting.
Yeah.
Okay, so they understand more of what should be expected and what should not be expected. But some of us that provide HR advisory understand the importance of technology in recruitment. Okay, when you have a job posted, or when you make a job listing, and then you begin to have thousands and thousands of people, most often you don't have all the time to go through all of those CVs. All right. But what technology has done is that technology provides us with that opportunity to just make sure that we have the CVs of the right people. So it does the screening with the keywords and just make sure that it leaves you with the right people. So it makes your interviewing process easier. And if you are a job seeker, you need to understand what the recruiter wants, okay, so that you will even get to the interview section. And even in the interview section, we also understand that technology is playing a very critical role. We have smart tools today that recruiters are using to make sure that they don't spend a lot. Everybody is trying to do cost optimization from the employer through the recruiter, okay, and even government, everybody's trying to do cost optimization. So understanding the place of technology in CV writing today makes it imperative, okay, for us to pay very rapt attention. But here in this class, we have about 32 persons watching this class and only 16 persons have subscribed. So what are you waiting for? I need you to go hit the like button, like the presentation, if it is ever making any sense to you, like the presentation. And I want you to go ahead and hit the share button. Go and share this with your friends, your colleagues, because they need to understand this. Many people be like, I've spent 5 years, I've not gotten a job. I've spent 10 years, I've not gotten a job. If you're still using the CV process of 2020, you're missing something. If you're using the CV, I said 2020, which is even very close. But the truth is, if you're using the CV format or the CV forms of or the CV process of 2015, 2020, 2012, 2010, you are actually very far. And there are quite a number of people who teach us about CVs today that still leverage on CV format, CV standards of 2000, 2010, and this is 2024. So a whole lot of things have changed. Artificial intelligence is revamping everything, reorganizing the whole the way we do everything. It is disrupting virtually everything, and you need to understand this place, okay, and be able to use technology to tailor your CV. So while you are going ahead to share the link and subscribe, I want us to pay attention here, because what this is now, if you're ever used to the web, there's what we call SEO, and it's called search engine optimization. Search engine optimization. When we do search engine, or when an engine like Google or Yahoo or any other engine, any other virtual machine is doing an optimization, what is looking for is keywords. It's looking for keywords that match what people are searching for. So if I go to the internet and I'm searching for CV 2024, and if let's assume I posted this presentation on Google, if there is a good documentation of the keywords, then Google will bring, there is a possibility that Google will bring this presentation first to whoever that is searching for it. But if I just put something there, maybe I just put writing your CV, okay, and I did not get the right keywords, maybe I did not put 2024, I did not put ATS, I did not put maybe some of the things that are most conversant in this present dispensation, Google will just leave that alone. And that's the same thing that applies to the application process of today. So you could apply online. Of course, most of the applications are online, and most of the applications that we do today are passed through the ATS, the Applicant Tracking System. Now, what happens with the Applicant Tracking System is that it tries to filter the keywords registered for a particular job role that has been advertised. And if there is a particular level of percentage of correlation, maybe if the keywords are 50%, take the people to the other side of interview. If not, reject. So that's just a simple conditional acceptance of that particular CV. All right. If we say 100% match before we could ever take such, that is how the ATS will work. So that makes it very important that you have to pay attention to the job advertised so that you understand the keywords to that job. I will repeat this again. Before you develop your CV, pay attention to the job advertised. Now, paying attention to the job advertised, you look at the job description, you look at the job specification, you look at maybe things like the skills required. If there is a summary of the job posted, you look at the summary. If there is a person specification, you look at all of that. Okay, so everything about that job advertised will determine the kind of keywords you will use. So you first of all use the keywords available in the job before you start using the keywords that are of your own. Okay, so this is very, very important. Now, let me quickly run through this. I just want to also use this opportunity to let us know that this weekend, the Institute will be running a certificate course in emotional intelligence for professionals. The emotional intelligence has become the master skill in today's world. Okay, in career, in business, anywhere you are, emotional intelligence has become the master skill. And we're inviting you to join us on July 11 to 13, 2024, and the time is 10 a.m. daily, and the venue is going to be on Zoom. If you're a member of IPM watching this program, that program will be available to you at $24,850 or $25. And then for non-members, that will be for $34,850 or $35. And you can use the link as you see on the screen to register. We'll also post the link in the comment section so that you can activate your registration from there. Please note that this program at this moment is highly discounted, and anybody whosoever desires to be an emotional intelligence expert, or at least get the foundation of emotional intelligence and how to apply it in your workplace, this is a very good course for you. We're going to be having our very own Major General Dele Aragundade, who is a chartered emotional intelligence professional and a member of the National Defense College, and also a fellow of IPM, a fellow of this institute. He will be there to take us on this course. And then we'll have Dr. Ifoma Eze, who is a chartered emotional intelligence expert and also a chartered management consultant, and of course, a fellow of this institute. We'll also be having Ebruche Banito, who is the executive director of IPM, to share thoughts on this matter. It's going to be a 3 days full-blown course, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily with 1 hour break in between, and you don't want to mix it for anything. All right, so let's proceed on ATS. Now, I want you to help me with something. ATS, in the comment section, I want you to type, what is the full meaning of ATS? What is the full meaning of ATS? Okay, what is the full meaning of ATS? Please remember, for you to be able to type, you have to hit on the subscribe button for you to be able to type. Okay, so what is ATS? You have to hit on the subscribe button. I'm looking at the chat section now. I want to see what is ATS. Okay, what is ATS? Can somebody help me with the full meaning of ATS? ATS. Okay. I'm waiting. What's the full meaning of ATS? Just type it in the comment section and I will pick it up from there. What is ATS? Okay. Do I need to add ATS? So Dr. Mike, have you seen anything about ATS?
No, I've not seen anything.
Okay, nobody has posted anything. Okay, so I believe okay, somebody has posted something.
Nobody has posted.
Okay, so tell us the meaning of ATS. I just talked about ATS right now. So what is the meaning of ATS? Okay, so Ibrahim Abdullah said Applicant Tracking System. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim Abdullahi. Chinyere Ogwo said Applicant Tracking System. And okay, so Abraham just reiterated what he said. All right, thank you so much. Okay, so now let's look at understand how ATS works. How does ATS work? Although I've already explained that, but let me just summarize that. On the purpose of ATS, it helps employers, it helps recruiters manage large volumes of applications by automating the initial screening process. And how does it do this? How does it work? It scans your resumes for keywords and phrases relevant to the job description. Okay, now Dr. Mike kept talking about keyword. Don't use accounting keyword in a CV where you're looking for a HR job. And don't use HR keywords for a CV where you're looking for maybe an engineering job. And don't use engineering keyword. In fact, as an engineer, of course, we understand that there are different domains of engineering. So don't use electrical engineering keyword for civil engineering keyword. So those keywords are very, very important. And to be smart in what you're doing, the smartest thing to do, like he pointed out, and I also emphasized on that, is that we should pay attention to the job advertised. Read through and through. Read through and through, from the job summary to the job description to the job specification to locations, everything about the job, even to the person you're applying to, or the email you're sending to, or the link you're sending from. Okay, and he also mentioned something very, very important. He said, where possible, visit the organization's website, okay, and look up information, okay, that could become keywords for you. That's very, very important. And then scoring system. The ATS assigns scores to resumes based on keyword matches and relevance to the job posting. And then we have the filtering candidates. It filters out resumes or CVs that don't meet the predefined criteria, moving the most relevant ones forward. So you can see the importance of technology in this case. If you're not used, or if you don't understand how this ATS works, you could actually be very intelligent, very smart, very brilliant, but for the fact that you're ignorant of how CVs are being processed today, you could be missing on several opportunities. You could be missing out on several opportunities. Now, using keywords from the job description, we cannot emphasize on this job description enough, because that is where your keywords actually are coming from. Okay, so what are the steps? Number one, analyze the job description. Identify key skills, qualifications, and experiences required for the position. This will form your keywords in your CV. Highlight important keywords. Note down keywords and phrases that are frequently mentioned in the job description, or in the job specification, or in the job listing. Whichever one that is most frequently mentioned, please make sure you highlight it and make sure you don't miss it in your CV or resume. Now, incorporate the keywords. Integrate these keywords naturally into your resume summary, your experience, and your skill session according to what you've seen from the job listing or the job advertised. Then use exact phrases. Use exact phrases. I remember those days that we used to look for job, right? What I do most often is, where I see that they said maybe this person should have skills in Microsoft, and then they begin to list Excel, PowerPoint, I will just copy it exactly the way they put it there. Okay, I'll just copy those skills exactly, because I know I have them. There is no need of, I just copy the way and just paste it on my CV or resume. Okay, and then you see some other things they write. So some job some recruiters, you see them write things like personal abilities. ability to lead a team, ability to do this, ability. I will just copy that exactly. Okay, I will just go, but I will create a section for personal abilities, and I'll just copy that. That's just a smart way of making sure that you use the exact phrases, okay, that are in the job description. Now, avoid keyword stuffing. Just once is enough. Mention a keyword once is enough. Don't, because it's mentioned frequently does not mean in your CV, on your resume, you should now start with it. All over the CV is everywhere. No. Okay. Just, it can make the system not even pay attention on some other keywords, because that one that is frequent will become the trigger. Yes. Okay. And if that's the only thing you see, you can just summarize that that's the only thing you have. So just speak it once. Okay. And use other ones that you see adequately. All right. Okay. Now I want to know if you're learning something from ATS. Let me know what you've learned from ATS, because I'm almost getting done. So one more time, if you've not hit the subscribe button, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, and make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and share, okay, and make sure that someone is listening alongside with you. All right, okay. Now, formatting tips to ensure compatibility. How do you ensure compatibility with your ATS? How do you ensure compatibility, your CV being compatible with the ATS, with the applicant tracking system? Number one, use standard formats. Dr. Mike said, don't use calligraphics. Okay, don't use fonts that are calligraphics or fonts that will be difficult for the ATS to read. Now, note that in this case now, it is not human being that is reviewing your CV, it's a machine that is reviewing your CV. Right? So stick to standard fonts like Arial, Times New Roman, or Calibri, but make sure that it is clear to read. Okay? Clear to read. All right? Then simple layout. Use a clean, simple layout without excessive graphics or images. Use a clean, simple layout without excessive graphics or images. So when you go to Microsoft Word today, if you're using 365, okay, you will see different samples of CV. Okay, you find templates of different samples of CV. If you use Microsoft Publisher, you find different samples of CV. Okay, if you use online tools, maybe like Zeti or Adobe Inline or Canva, you also find very beautiful layouts. Okay, so use simple ones that are easy to handle. Okay.
Then added to this, avoid images that was mentioned.
Okay.
Avoid unnecessary objects, shapes. So that place where you have phone number, you go and download image of a phone or insert a phone. Or then some will have borders. Then some will use line to differentiate the school, the years of the school. All those things is going to be interpreted as error. You can, most times, what if you are at the back end seeing what it does is that something like those shapes, you can change to square or something, an error message.
That's right.
So, and it will also now affect
the
quality of your work, mixed with even the alphabet, and becomes nonsense.
Yeah.
So avoid all those images. We know you're handsome, we know you're beautiful, you are the best of your creation. Avoid it of putting your images, except where it's explicitly requested for. And if you observe, most of those explicitly requested for, they'll say you should attach it separate from your CV. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Mike, for bringing that very powerful information. We keep saying this now, that your CV is being reviewed by what? A machine.
By a machine.
Okay, so we don't want to see code error at the back, or you see A, B, then a boss in between. Then you have phone number with another boss, and then you're confused. Okay, in fact, that will even make the machine screen out your own aside first, because it won't know exactly what that is for. All right, so let's try as much as we can to keep to that simple. And like he mentioned, except in specific case where the company requires that you put your image. Okay, so we will put full portrait.
Yeah, no. See one, I thought the shoe. I don't like the shoe that advertised. Correct shoe. Me, you look at analyzing the shoe. I have to cause like, this shoe expensive. I should pick this guy.
Oh my God.
So that became a distraction on its own.
Yeah, that became a distraction on its own. And I've seen quite a number of things like that become distractions. So except the company request for the image, of course, when they are requesting for image, they will also tell you the format.
Yes.
So whether it's a passport, or they will tell you, okay? So that's very, very important. And then headlines and sections. Clearly label each section of your CV, like you have your CV. First, you have your title, the title of your CV, which is your name with your basic information, right? And then you have your biodata. So every section should be well labeled. Your biodata, your education, your professional certifications, your work experience, other relevant jobs, your licenses, your membership, and every other thing should be well labeled. Okay. Now your bullet points. Use bullet point to list experiences and achievement for easy scanning. Try not to use very much words or very many words. Okay, just bullet what you're saying. Summarize as much as you can, so as to help the ATS make you the right candidate. All right. Then 5 formats. Submit your resume in a compatible format, typically a PDF or a Word. Although in some international recruitment, they will tell you put a JPEG.
Yeah.
Okay, so some will tell you put a JPEG. That means you have to turn your PDF to a JPEG. So there is often JPEG, PDF, or Word. Okay.
So some will send you even link with password.
Okay.
So no. Like as some applicants, when they apply in their, even the ones applying in email, you see a link. Then you are trying to make sense out of the link. You will now see a password again. Some send you the password. Some will not even say, I'm like, so because I'm the employer now, you have to go and start using password to open it. So we should avoid all those kind of scenarios as well. I know some of us are saving our Google Drive, but have it also as PDF and documents, Word. Some will be like, send it in PDF format. Some are very specific, just PDF. Some will be like, they need only in Word. Yeah. Most of the times, recruitment agencies, why they want it in Word is because there are so many people recruiting for that position. So when they get your CV, they put their logo somewhere and send to the
organization. Yeah. Okay. And now there is another thing you mentioned. You mean putting of password.
Yes.
Okay. You know, I had that challenge some time ago. I didn't know that you can actually password your document. So one guy now taught me how to password documents. I was passwording virtually everything. So if I send you CV, I'll send you the password. But that's making it to, and now that we are using ATS does not require, it doesn't have time for password. So if it cannot access the file, it just throws it away. Okay, so let's be careful about these things. All right, then avoid headers and footers. Okay, ATS might not read the information in headers and footers correctly. Okay, ATS might not read the information of headers and footers correctly. Like in the footer, you can put your number, like if it is more than a page, you can put 1, 2. All right, but you see those ones, you now come down and put your name. You know, copyright 2024
for CV.
And I say not for commercial use. Not to be duplicated. Okay, so the ATS might read it differently. Now we are saying these things and we are laughing, but these are things we see.
Yeah.
Okay, these are things that we see. Okay, and then on the header, you see some people putting some things there. Not that those information are wrong. Now, if you are submitting it handy, even if you're submitting it handy, don't go and put not for commercial purpose. Okay, do not disclose. Okay, those information are not needed. You've already disclosed your CV, and should you be hiding your CV?
You shouldn't be hiding. And even at the part of the employer, they are not obligated just going to broadcast. Nobody will go and broadcast,
your CV
like that.
Okay, and I don't know if you've seen this before. In the watermark, you see, do not disclose.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You see, do not disclose.
Some put confidential.
Confidential. So those information, the ATS might interpret it differently, and you don't want to. Like I said, you could be very intelligent, very amazing, but just these simple things can rule the opportunity offer you from the ATS. Okay. Now, common pitfalls to avoid as far as the ATS is concerned. The pitfall number 1 is overly complex formatting. Avoid using tables, columns, or text boxes that can confuse the ATS. This is one. I'm just going to read it out. Then number 2, missing keywords. Failing to include relevant keywords from the job description. Look at this again. Job description. Don't just carry your CV and just upload. No, review. Make sure that the keywords available before you go on uploading, right? Graphics and images. ATS often cannot read graphics, logos, or images. We keep saying this just for you to understand this. Incorrect file format. Submitting in an incompatible format, example JPEG or PNG, can result in the resume not being read, except you are advised when you apply in there, you see it in the instruction that you should upload in JPEG or PNG or any other format. But basically, you have your PDF and you have your Word, your Docs document. Then the generic resume. Sending the same resume for every job without customization is also a very big pitfall. All right. And in 2024, you should avoid that as much as possible. All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to be handing over to Dr. Mike as he continues on customizing your CV. But please make sure, if you've not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And by the end of the session, we'll be putting up our WhatsApp group link so that you can also feel free to join us on WhatsApp to get all the updates. Thank you, and back to Dr. Mike.
All right, thank you. I can see a lot of my friends here. I can see Chinyere, I can see Maxwell, I can see Francis, Jennifer, I can see you, Agnes, I can see you, Cyril, I can see you, Suleiman, my former colleague, I can see you, Ibrahim, I greet you, Favor, how are you? It's been a long time. Where are they? Chiemeka, my very good friend. All right, thank you. Tailoring your resume for different roles. So we look at understand the role first. You have to understand what's expected. Okay, why is that role needed? Why is it different from every other role? When they say in the HR field now they need a HRBP, human resource business partner, is different from a HR generalist. It's different. When they need a HRBP manager, it's different from a human resource manager. They are all different. So when they need an engineer, a mechanical engineer, it's different from a clean engineer. So understand the role as well as the industry. Okay, the industry reflects what will be written in the role. Then highlight relevant experiences you've had. There are certain experiences that's not necessary. Even some certifications that you have that are even not necessary, you may wish to take them out. So everyone is making it very verbose and big. Okay, so be specific about the experiences. If they are recruiting for a HR officer or HR manager that is major in organizational development, for instance, and most of your CV, you're a HR manager, yes, but what is in your CV showing performance, recruitment, it won't fly. Showcase your achievements. Aside your qualification, show your achievements, your skills, and how it has, assisted you in becoming a high flyer, how it has distinguished you, how it has made you recognized, how it has rewarded you. Focus on skills. You see people come to your DM and they'll be like, I am so person, I studied, I have BSc, this, and I need a job. That cannot give you a job. Even when you're approaching people in their DM, you introduce yourself first, salutation, and the reason why you're in their DM, then you sell yourself. If it's for a job, you sell yourself. Highlight your skills, not just telling you because you're a graduate. There are so many other graduates out there. I'm not downplaying the effort you have made as a graduate, but graduates is not a meal ticket. Okay, so customize each application to suit each CV to suit the application. We don't have people who research companies again. I don't see that. I mean, following the last time I sat in a panel, I don't see people researching companies again. The only thing we want to know because of insecurity reasons now is that whether it's a place to go because of insecurity or not. But aside insecurity reasons, we need to understand the company's mission and vision, their culture, and core value. In fact, this will even help you to know that you should even proceed with the application. It's not because it will appear that there are fewer jobs and more applicants. So that's why we are just struggling for any kind of job, no matter how bad it may be. But when you are in a research about a company, just the way they do background check about you. Recently, a company reached out to me and we are already having a conversation. Maybe I had to send their name to somebody who does the background check for company, and the feedback came negative. And I told them I'm withdrawing my application. I'm not willing to work with them. Some of them, when you go to their website, from their website, you can tell the kind of company it is. From their social media handle, you can tell the kind of company it is. Okay. Most of these companies, you will see their employees on LinkedIn, for instance, very, very proud of them, putting that they are working in so place. When they make a post, they tag the company. The next is job description. Analyze the job description, identify the key skills, experiences, and we'll say it again. LinkedIn. Look at LinkedIn profile of current employees and understand the background, skills, and value. I was doing that yesterday of a particular company that reached out to me for a position in it, and I had to go on LinkedIn and look for who the employees are. And luckily, I have two friends who work there, one in Lagos, one in Abuja, and I started asking him and her some questions. So check out companies even on LinkedIn. That's where many of them are. So if you're not on LinkedIn today, please go on LinkedIn. Don't go on LinkedIn and look for followers. Go on LinkedIn and just be organic. Just be yourself. Talk about what you do. Add value. Your profession. There are so many things you can talk about. So many things. Okay. Stay updated with the recent news about the company to understand their current focus. So you don't want to go and join a company to see whether, and after 2 months, they are packing up. Imagine those that joined this recent bank, Heritage Bank, maybe 6 months ago. So research about the company as well. Go on news and see what is being said about it. How the employees, in fact, how them, also, and that place you can get that is on this website. What is website? Neraland. I think almost any company you want, you can also find there. You can get a review. Then industry trend. Research industry trends to see how the role fits within the larger context of the industry. Customizing the language and focus. Use the industry jargons. Use industry jargons. That's what I'm saying here. Use the right terminology. How many of us understand doctor handwriting, for instance? That is a typical example of industry jargons. It looks so stupid. I'm telling you. But when you are now in the field, once you just look at it, oh, this is a combat train. Oh, is it paracetamol is writing like this? The day I began to understood little of this thing, I was like, so why would this man just write paracetamol and write 2 times a day? They'll just write and do a mathematical figure on this thing, 6 over this. And now got to understand. It was when I was in the medical field, I got to understand what those number is, the number you will take and number of times you will take it, depend on the milligram. So you use the industry jargons in your CV. Tailor your summary objective to the industry background. Adjust session order. Place the most relevant sessions at the top. So when it's not CV, I have to do resume. And especially when also the private sector. Your date of birth, your local government of origin, your town, your village king, the past king, your number of siblings you have no business in your CV coming up. It has no business coming up, being the first thing I should see. The first thing I should say should be the summary statement, followed by your skills, your job, your academics, and so on, and your qualifications. That one can come at the down. But you open some people's CV, the first thing you will see, number of siblings, 5. Village king, engineer Mike, Ude. Village location, 362 latitude of the Ecuador. What are we doing all those things? So arrange your sessions in a very relevant way and in a chronological order from most recent to the oldest. Use numbers and metric to
quantify your achievement, and make them compelling. Now, this is where I also have problems with people. Somebody was telling me that he applied for one HR and I said employee engagement is 92%. I said, 92% employee engagement. Employee satisfaction, 96%. None of them was less than 90. So I said, okay, how did you know and measure employee engagement, for instance? He could not tell me. He said, no, because they do have engagement every. Tell me. For you to measure that, it means that they have mapped out number of engagements for the year. They have mapped out engagement program for the year. There was initiative first before that. He could not even tell me. If it were even me that have done that kind of goof, I'll say, okay, yes, before the year, we had an initiative. We said we're going to have 35 employee engagement. At the year ran out, we had 34. That's why there's a measuring. I can give you that lame, as at least very simplified. Okay, employee satisfaction. How do you know? You say, well, the employees don't complain. I said, why don't you think that them not complain because they're even tired of complaining? They have been dissatisfied. They said that they don't want to complain again. Right? But they are meant to say, okay, we conducted a survey, all these things. We did a survey. We did a stay interview and all those kind of things. So when you are putting figures, ensure that they are measurable. Ensure that they are measurable. Don't just go and conjure anything and put there and believe that, because there are kind of people that you will meet who will start asking you detailed questions. You will see some that they are able to achieve the bank target of 100 trillion for that year. How did your contribution? I want to see how it is your contribution that made the bank achieve 1 trillion for that year. They can't give us that. When you're putting that, don't go and by yourself, do yourself or carry yourself to where you don't know. You know. Okay, so design and layout. So at this juncture, I will call my great colleague to take it up from here.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Mike. And it has been an awesome section. In the next few minutes, we'll be rounding up our discussion, but I trust we are all learning something. And please, before you go, try to join our WhatsApp group so that you can stay updated with all of the information we will be bringing to your way. All right, so designs and layouts. Designs and layout. So when we're talking about this ATS, we say your design should be simple, your design and your layout should be simple. So we're just going to give what is expected in your design and your layout. Your format options, number one, choose between chronological, functional, or a combination-based formats, or your career history and straight. So you could choose a chronological. First, it has to be chronological. Then look at the functional areas, and then or a combination of formats. Okay, then the layout consistency. There must be consistency in your layout. Maintain consistent spacing, margins, and font sizes throughout your CV and resume. Always remember that where we are now, it is an ATS that's going to review and scrape your CV. Now, for the visual hierarchy, use headings, subheadings, and bullet points to organize information logically. For white space, utilize white space to improve readability and make key sections stand out. When we say white space, you could put a double spacing before you put another heading. All right. Digital compatibility. Ensure your CV or resume is easily readable in both print and digital formats. Now, what's the importance of having a clean professional design? Number one, first impression. We say that first impression matters. So a well-crafted, a well-designed CV or resume creates a positive first impression on employers. Readability, clean design enhances readability, making it easier for recruiters to scan your document quickly. On professionalism, it reflects your attention to detail and professionalism, which are important in many industries. In highlighting the key information, design elements can emphasize important skills, achievements, and experiences. Then we have the brand alignment. It aligns your personal brand with the company's image and culture.
Now, what are the tools and templates for designing your CVs or resume? Now, in another section, we'll have another section where we will practically look at different templates and how you can use them to develop your CV. Look at different tools, especially the cloud-based tools that you can use to develop your CV, and then you have to choose the best option for you. But for now, we'll just expose you to the ones available. So number one, we have the Microsoft Word. I've mentioned that earlier. So there are quite a number of beautiful templates available on Microsoft Word, especially if you're using the Microsoft 365, you're going to find beautiful templates that you can use. And they also have Google Docs. The same thing that applies to Microsoft Word applies to Google Docs. So you find beautiful CV templates that you can use. And then you have Canva. I love Canva because those elements are well designed, well aligned. So all you need to do is just copy and paste or just type. The formatting is already done for you. So all you need to do is to pick the right format and then use that. They also have Adobe InDesign doing the similar work as Canva. And then you have online resume builders like your LinkedIn resume builder or your Zeti, which also come with easy to use templates and customization. And of course, Dr. Mike had been hammering on the need for you to be on LinkedIn. So in case you're not on LinkedIn, this is the best time to be on LinkedIn. And also we'll be dropping our LinkedIn, URL or link so that you can also join us on LinkedIn to get tips. And we'll be summarizing this section with common mistakes and how to avoid them. In the next 10 minutes, Dr. Mike will be summarizing this. Thank you so much.
All right. So you should also, part of the tools you should also have is Grammarly.
Yeah.
Grammarly to correct your tenses. Okay, have Grammarly on your phone. Even it helps when you are chatting, when you are posting on Facebook, when you are posting on LinkedIn. I use it a lot. Okay, so have that. When you finish, you subject your CV to Grammarly to help you correct, the tenses, the grammar, the logic in it. And there are some you also ignore, because not all of them that Microsoft Word should do. I think even when you're even using advanced Microsoft Word, you still need Grammarly to have that, and any other similar app that corrects grammar.
Yeah. So there are two questions here. One is from Dr. Oluremi. He said, when you want to put your resume online, is it not better to be generic with all the qualifications and experiences of jobs carried out in order to sell yourself better? Okay, that's from Dr. Oluremi Ilusoji. Okay, Dr. Mike?
Okay, so when you are he's asking this question directly, I want to assume it's when you're putting on job boards, like maybe my job mark, Jobberman, Hot Nigerian Jobs. Yes, you should have a definite CV that you're uploading on that. And that CV should still have the jargons of your field. Should still have the key points, your key strengths, and all of those. You should have that. But when you're applying for specific jobs now, not just uploading, at that point, you have to tailor it. But when you're having that one that you have to upload and dump on the site, you should have a generic CV. But when you also have something new to offer, update it and upload another one.
Okay. Just to add to what Dr. Mike has said, now when you are building your career, you should be building towards professionalism, professionalize in a particular area. For instance, Dr. Mike is a HR. Okay, so if he wants to create his CV, or if you check his LinkedIn page, you find that most of the things there are all tilted towards HR. Okay, yes. Myself, I'm into management consulting, training, strategy, and all of that. Now, when you go to my page, that's what we see. Okay, maybe once in a while I put a little of HR. Okay, but even in the HR, it's not just HR; it's on strategy. Okay, even in the consulting, it's not just general consulting; it's on strategy. Anything I do is around strategy. So while you are on general sites like the ones you've mentioned, you can put. But when you come to LinkedIn, that is demanding professionalism and professionalization, you need to be specific. Build a brand. So if you want to be known as an administrator, let your CV reflect that you're an administrator with the relevant qualifications, experiences, and the like. You can add other experiences, but let your relevant experiences be at the top of your CV in LinkedIn.
And that is why in LinkedIn you have top voices. You see that thing comes out, top voices in this. There's a badge that normally come out. So it's because of that person have built on that particular place. There's also another thing that happens when it comes to job. I remember when I used to have a green badge of open to work. There's something that it does. There are some certain jobs that it will pop up for me and tell me that my profile match this job. So if you have that kind of a CV, even when it's generic, it doesn't mean you just have admin, HR, sales. No. You should still narrow it to a particular field.
It makes just like what he pointed out now, the LinkedIn giving you an update, your CV, your resume. Okay, no, they always call it resume. Your resume matched this job. That is just a typical example of the ATS we are talking about.
It's a typical example.
Okay, so the ATS on LinkedIn has just reviewed your CV and reviewed a job posting by an employer. Okay, try this one. There's a match here.
Yes.
Okay, and sometimes if you look at analytics, there is LinkedIn analytics. Then it will tell you this job you are 95% match to this job.
Yes.
85% match.
Or you have 6 out of 8 skills.
You have 6 out of 8 skills. So that is an example of ATS playing out on LinkedIn already. So
and me, for instance, myself, I know I use LinkedIn to shortlist. When we're at the back end, we're putting up a job, we'll say 5 years minimum. So anything below 5 years,
it will not take it.
It doesn't take it. It will shift it into the rejected application. I'll just come there and see all the rejected applications and the ones that go through like that. That's also under ATS format.
Yeah. So that's a question from Dr. Oluremi. I guess the little lights we've shared helps. Okay. Chinyere Ogwo asked, what do you mean by chronological MBBBB format?
Chronological means arranging in a particular order. So it can be from highest to lowest or lowest to highest. But in CV, it's usually from the most recent to the most oldest. That is what's called chronological order. If we say chronological order of age in your family, for instance. So maybe you are the first, followed by the second person. The first person is 30, second person is 25, like that. So that's chronological order.
Okay. Maybe we could give example with a CV.
So with a CV now, when they say arrange your academics in chronological order.
That's right.
So you Chinyere, let's assume you went to Federal Polytechnic Bida in finished in 2024. You went to Government Girls Secondary School and finished in 2021. Finished primary school in, let's say, 1999. So you can't just put primary school first, then later you put your university at the middle, then put your secondary school last. No, it has to be arranged in a pattern. Either you're putting your primary school first, secondary school, and your university, but no, it's actually your university first at the top, followed by the most recent, followed by your secondary school and your primary school. The same thing applies to job. The current job you have should be at the top, followed by the one you left to that job, followed by, so the first job you did should be at the bottom. That's
so in simple terms, when we say chronological, is it that you're doing in ascending order or descending order? But in the best case scenario is in descending order, from the first or from the most current to the least that you've had. Okay, do I have any other question here?
You say, how do you tailor CV in CV what?
In cases you've had to work in different sectors.
Okay, I'll answer that. Then good day all. I'm just joining Nasrat from Reverend CGN Ojinta. Do you know any Ojinta? The name sounds familiar.
That's Elder Ojinta.
Okay.
So Reverend Ojinta is our elder, is a fellow.
Okay.
He's a fellow. Yeah. Elder, you're welcome. Reverend Elder, you're welcome, sir.
Then J. Avira Hair Collection. Can you put your full name for us in the comment section? Let's know who we're dealing with.
Yeah.
J. Avira Hair Collection. Yeah. Nice marketing, but you should put your name for us. How to join the WhatsApp group. The link will also be posted.
Yeah, immediately we're done, we'll post the link so that it doesn't destroy the class.
Yes. Okay, so how do you tailor your CV in when you've worked in different sectors? There is no other way to tailor it than, first of all, the focus is on your job description. On the job description. It is when you're applying for a particular job and it is maybe in manufacturing now, and you've worked in maybe the bank, then your skills should now reflect that of manufacturing sector, because that's where you are applying for. You have to show those skills. For instance, handling, if you're in the HR, handling workers in manufacturing sector is very different. Yes. You have to be a professional with little touch of madness, to handle for those people, your steez is not, you don't just carry your pure steez and go there. You have to carry steez with small touch of bass, so you have to align those kind of skills you have that suits into the sector in your job description. And also in your statements, you put that you have worked in this sector and that sector, to show that this sector that needs you actually have that background, industry background, industry experience. But you can't really change it totally. By the time I see your CV, I see First Bank Nigeria Limited, and I'm seeing Rain Oil. I can easily tell that, okay, you worked in two different sectors, the oil and gas and the financial sector.
And also, working in multiple industries or different sectors could also give you an edge.
Yes.
Okay, it gives you an edge because it helps you to master different skills, or even the same skill. You can master the same skill in different industries. For instance, you could master Excel or data analytics in construction, in the banking, in telecom. Now, if for once you now decide to come into insurance, it will be an easy thing for you. And of course, anybody employing you at that point will know that this person is a master in this area. I remember one thing you said one day. You said, this is why we tell people that experience matters in recruitment.
Yes,
there was a day you made a statement like that. Okay, so those different industries you've worked, they are not a disadvantage. They're actually to your advantage. Okay, but you must tailor them to suit the current position or the current job you're looking out for. So, for instance, if they say the person needs to have a technical skill, okay, now the technical skill, it did not identify a particular tool.
Yeah. Okay,
so you can now begin to say, okay, you have technical experience in this. So to make it much more broadened, all right? Okay, so that is for, is it Chinyerogo?
Yes.
Okay, that's Chinyerogo. Okay,
no, that's for the person that asked industry.
That's Chinyerogo. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we're still expecting more questions. Feel free to drop your question, but we'll be out of here in a moment. Jane Avira Hair Collection, please, would like to know your full name so that we can address you appropriately. Thank you. So let's now summarize.
So reviewing common errors, spelling error that we've told you, and all this, you how to go about using spelling app, correction app. So typographical errors, incorrect tenses, punctuation. Nowhere to, if you go to my post today, this morning on LinkedIn, that's one of the things I spoke about, that someone applying for a job and say, application post of a teller, the P is small p, post of a teller, the T is small t in an email. So it's not, I won't take that person seriously. Your CV should also, lest I forget, don't put CV 1 or CV 2 or new CV 3. No. Use your name to save your CV document. Use your name to save the CV document. You can use what I do. I use my CV, the name, and version 1.1. When I update, I will change to version 1.2. When I update, so my CV now has up to version this. When I know the most current version of my CV. So if you just get me my CV and say, and I look at this one, I see that's on my CV. It's not, I've used that CV 2 years or 10 years ago. Okay. Grammatical errors. Okay. Avoid grammatical errors as much as possible. Use industry grammar. Formatting. Please don't use very close line spacings or very far line spacings. Justify your alignment so that it will be neat. Don't go and use right or left. No. Use justification so that your CV will be well arranged. Know where to use bold. Be consistent. So if you're using bold, for instance, for name of schools only, the first one, Fagba Grammar School, Agege, or let's say University of Nigeria, Nsukka, is in bold. BSc is not in bold. Then I also expect to see when I'm saying Pagba Grammar School should also be in bold. WAEC should not be in bold. Then primary school, you will now see King's College Primary School is not in bold. The first living certificate is in bold. That's distorted the whole system. It might look very small, but it does show that this person does not have a consistent pattern. Inconsistency. That's what it can interpret. Then avoid information and clusters, designs that makes it hard for people to read. So give paragraphs, use bullet points, so it will be easy. Don't cluster it because we want everything to enter one. And that thing that I also look out for is if you are seeing your job description, if your first job is 6 job description, and try as much as possible to ensure that the second one is 6. In fact, put all of them 6, 6, 6. Maybe your the first job you got might just be 2, depends. But ensure that pattern is there. It even saves you time from writing things that are not relevant. Because you see some have 12 job description in a particular place, and the other one has 5. For me, it's not a general thing. This is just my own personal opinion. Okay. Then using generic phrases and cliches. So be specific. Be specific according to industry, according to figures, according to job requirements. All right. Then tips for proofreading and okay. So read aloud. Yes, read aloud. I remember I posted something and somebody said, I don't know whether it's something that the person is not there. I said, go and read again. The person went and read again. I said, go and read aloud. So the person came back to me and said, oh, thank you, sir, that he read aloud and he was able to get it. So sometimes that reading aloud helps. I do that a lot. Use spell checkers. We've said that already. Get feedback. Give your CV to a friend. Give it to a professional where you have the money to just do editing for you. Take a break. Step away from your document for a while before proofreading and approach it with a fresh eye. It might even be the next day. If you have access to a printer, you can print and read it, the hard copy. Okay. Focus on details. Pay attention on very little details like dates, contacts. Your phone number can just change. In fact, something happened again. I always like to use myself as an example. That was 4 months ago. A recruiter contacted me and said that he sent something to me. I said, you didn't send anything to me. He said he sent an application to me. I said, no, I didn't receive it. So he was so sure he sent, and I said, okay, please go and check my name. Maybe you misspelled the Michael. I said Michael is A before E. When he now sent it, they apologized. Oh, sorry, that's correct. So that could be happening to even you, the owner of the name or the owner of that particular data. You might just miss one number. You can just switch number. For example, your number can be 070-329-40 like my own. You want to put 080. And that is all. That is all. Focus on, okay, so we said that information formatting, consistency, and professional image, consistency. Yes, so your CV reflects you. So as you detailed oriented, so when whatever you put in your CV is a reflection of who you are. Make your CV easy to read by the kind of font you use, the sizes. I also CV that is 9, 7. No, I've not seen 7. I've seen 9. I've seen 10. Who do you want to who do you want to give eye blindness? It's too small. So make it the 12 font, which is like the 1.5 line spacing, like that. Then inaccurate information might also lead to a misinterpretation. Don't put ambiguous things there. Ambiguous things like it is through your contribution that it is because you not contributed that if Heritage Bank have listened to you, they won't have folded. Don't go and put those kind of things. Don't go and put those kind of things. Or that GT is on top today because of you able to bringing in money. How can you demonstrate that? How can you show that? Okay. Demonstrate care, consistency, and accurate reflection of commitment to presenting your best and potential employer. Show that you're giving your best aside your job description. See, what keeps you on the job silently is not just your job description, it's not just your KPIs. It's those KPIs that your employers have not told that they're watching out for. How you behave, behavioral, character. Even in competency framework, there are 3: knowledge, KR, knowledge, KSA. knowledge, skills, and attitude. Application, right? Or something like that.
Yes, knowledge, skills, and abilities.
And abilities, good.
Now the abilities covers your attitude.
Yes, the ability covers your attitude. Okay. So those are very silent things that come, your loyalty to the organization. All right. So further question and answer. We know that we've answered a lot of questions in the chat room, but in the comment section, but if you still have more, drop it and let us do justice to it.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Mike. It has been a wonderful, wonderful section today. We trust you've learned something. Now, if you have questions, feel free to send your question in the chat, in the comment section. We'll just take about 10 minutes to attend to every question that will be coming our way. So we'll be here for about 10 minutes and then we'll be done. Okay, so, or should we just say 7 minutes? Because we're supposed to close by 4. Just 7 minutes, please. 7 minutes. So in the next 7 minutes, we'll be done from here. But while we are looking out for your questions, we'll just be reviewing some real-time experiences we've had in recruitment, in CV, being employer, and being employee. Okay. Meanwhile, somebody said here, I said, okay, I'm trying to get J Avira said, my name is my name is Judith Terundu. Okay, so Judith, thank you for joining us. And then Elder Reverend Ojinta said, thanks for taking up this subject. People think it is simple, but my experience when I was in charge of establishment and records in the civil service shows people had issues. Thank you so much, Reverend. This is very, very important. Now, Chemeka said, please, ATS format, is ATS format applicable globally, or are there areas of the world that don't use the ATS formatting? Okay, so first is that ATS is a technology-driven tool, and recruiters are beginning to consistently integrate it, especially now that I may not say a particular percentage, but I remember as of 2014, a particular organization conducted a research, and it said about 86% of organizations are using social media, with LinkedIn specifically as a case. Okay, so if at 2014, 2015 they had up to 86%, then that means maybe by now we have 99%. And this ATS in places like LinkedIn is automatically built into the system. The recruiter only need to create the terms and conditions, the conditions for receiving applications. So if you use LinkedIn for your recruitment, or you use LinkedIn for your application, just automatically know that ATS is working. Now, there are some organizations that also have their own customized ATS from their website. Okay, so it might not be LinkedIn. So if you see yourself applying through website, even now on some people that use Google Form, okay, so they're also customizing Google Form. Okay, they will allocate some sort of points to certain keywords. So if your Google Form aggregates and it doesn't meet up to a particular point, your form won't submit. Even if you submit, it won't get to the person. So it will just screen out. So if you ask us here, we will say yes, globally there is an adoption of ATS because organizations are consistently trying to make sure that there is cost effectiveness in the recruitment process. Now, the same Chemeka asked, he said, how about middle names? Because as for me, I only employ the use of first and last names only. Okay, what do you have to say?
No, that does not mean. In fact, most applications just say first and your first name and your last name.
Okay.
But if you want to put all of them, you put before night you put Iken and Michael Okafor. So when I went to a particular company that I saw that they were more concerned about the middle name, which is Michael, instead of my first name. I had to take it out in my CV now. So I have it as an abbreviation.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter. That's anybody that's filling out on that basis does not need talent.
Okay, so your name is not part of the keywords.
No, it's not part of the keywords.
All right, thank you so much. And then, do I have any other question? Okay, so we expect more questions. We expect more questions.
The WhatsApp link.
Okay, so we've posted the link for the WhatsApp. Please, if you are already in our WhatsApp link, you don't need to click on it again. Like most of our fellows are here, most of our members are here. If you're in our WhatsApp group, please, we don't need you joining again. Just once you are blind, now you can see. So that's just enough. All right. Okay, so we have 3 minutes to go. If you still have questions, okay. I have from Adefela Arowofela. Adefela Arowofela. Okay. Which is the best CV layout? Single column or 2 columns? Wow.
What does it mean by column? If he's saying that you are having maybe by the left-hand side, you're having your personal information and all that, then there is no way to read. If you are at the beginning of the class, there are key things we mentioned. The keywords, the key arrangement, the key things that shouldn't be there. I think that should be the emphasis. If you go and have 13 columns, what it will only do is that your CV will look very tattered. It won't look organized. So CV is like a memo you're sending out.
That's right. So
memo is not even in columns. It's just plain. It's just straight. And that's what CV gives, unlike resume. It's resume that you have more of those columns thing.
Because you want to summarize.
You want to summarize
and
it.
Be brief as
that is the basics. It's not just because publication. So you see some people in that column, they'll go and put it and paint it black, pink, and all that. It also now causes distraction. Just make it simple, but stay on the point. What are the points? Keywords. Remove objects from there. Objects, shapes, lines, and stay with what is needed. Thank you.
Okay, so Dr. Micah has given us a very quick response to that. Make sure your CV layout is simple, smart, readable. Okay, and I believe one of these days we'll have another section where we'll discuss technically. Okay, how we use tools like we exemplify with tools that you can use, and then you can see different layouts. Okay, different layouts. Okay, that are easy to use, customizable, and all of that. But most importantly, you have to follow this channel. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Subscription is free. All you need to do is to hit the subscribe button. Okay, you don't have to pay anything.
And that class maybe someday might be even interview.
No, it's already there on the link. So we're having all through to December, we have a rollout of events, okay, that we're having, especially for the job people. It's just of recent that I realized that since 2020 or thereabout, we left the associate people and the graduate member people and the student member people, and we began to focus more on the fellows and the full members. Okay, so we want to pay attention also to our student members, our graduate members, our associates that may be there looking for jobs and all of that. And one of the things we'll be very glad to have is that before this year runs out, you should be able to land your dream job. So all you want to do is follow this channel, subscribe to it, follow us on our WhatsApp groups, because we'll be giving you updates, okay, on all of this. And of course, Dr. Mike is always there to provide you with all manner of templates. Not only templates, he will give you job information and also gives you the templates, okay, and that makes it easier for you. All right, okay. So why we expect, if there's this is just a beautiful time to round up. Okay, so let me just give us the key takeaways from here. Number one, customization. Tailor your CV or resume for each job application by aligning it with the job description and researching the company. Number two, design and layout. Choose a clean, professional layout that enhances readability and emphasizes key information. Number three, ATS optimization. Incorporate relevant keywords and avoid common pitfalls to increase your chances of passing through the ATS. Number four, proofreading and accuracy. Thoroughly proofread your document for spelling, grammar, and formatting errors to maintain professionalism. Consistency. Ensure consistency in formatting, information accuracy, and language throughout your resume. The next steps is for you to apply these strategies to enhance your CV and resume for your next job application. Now, when we say job application, whether you are coming in as an entry person, a middle person, a middle level manager, a senior manager, or you're even going for an appointment, because some of us are already retired. So what we need now is appointments. Okay, so even if you're going for an appointment, make sure you apply these strategies to your CV. Practice proofreading and editing techniques to polish your document. Use tools and templates effectively to create a professional CV and resume layout. Seek feedback from mentors or peers to improve your resume and CV further. Please make sure that if you actually enjoy this section, make sure to go ahead, share it with your friends, share it with your colleagues, share it with, share the link, let them also learn alongside with you. All right. Now, please be reminded that July 11 to 13, 2024, we'll be having our certificate course in emotional intelligence for professionals. Now, whether you are already a practicing professional or you are an aspiring professional, in fact, if you are not yet in a job, this is the right time to build capacity to be able to get the right job, right? So this is going to be taking place July 11 to 13, 2024. And if you are a corper, if you're a core member in this class, please, can you help us type core member in the comment section? If you're joining this class and you're a core member, please, can you help us type core member in the comment section? Okay, help us type core member in the comment section. The time for this class is 10 a.m. Daily. Venue is online. And the fees for members is $24,850, and that's $25. And non-members is $34,850, $35 for non-members. Members $24,850 and non-members $34,850. And the application link is just there. So I'm going to put the application link. Okay, somebody's asking. He said, where can you add NYSC details on your CV? And then somebody here also said, I didn't get that question very well. Can you pick the question? He said, I got certified in HR with IIPSM while serving in Ondo State. Is it the same as IPM? Okay, so the keyword is IIPM, not IIPSM. So we are not IIPSM. Do you know what's IPSM? What's the meaning of, I don't know what's IPSM. So we are IIPM, not IIPSM. All right. Okay. So the question, where do you add NYC details on
so
CV?
you can add NYC details. There are two basic places you can do that. You can add that under other certification, because it's not a professional certification.
Definitely.
So you can add that under other certification, or you can add it as a job experience.
Okay, that's beautiful.
You can add as a job experience. So when you're putting your job experience, you now bracket NYSC.
Oh. You just helped me remember something now. I don't know if you have seen those CV. They will write educational qualifications. They will put all their educational experiences. Then there is a column, they now have certificates obtained. And then that's that listing all the certificates. Yeah. Please, one section is enough. Your educational qualification should cover your certificate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You know that it's no longer attainable again. So you just put it BSc, BSc, anything you want to put, zoology, University of this. It's okay. Not University of this thing, zoology. Then you come down again and put BSc, zoology. No, it's not. These are not.
Okay, Dr. Mark, I think what we will do for the sake of the people that attended this class, we are going to share a typical CV as it is today. Okay, so before next week, and that's why you need to join the WhatsApp group right now. So we'll get that CV format and share it out, okay, so that you can see exactly how to make those, impute those information. And then if you have further question, just drop them here, and then we will look at them. All right, Jennifer said, don't add date of birth. Okay, now, it depends.
No, date of birth is not blank. But you mentioned that in resume, you don't need date of birth. You don't need it, except maybe for banks that specifically need it.
Yeah.
You have to put it 24 years. If you're 26, no need. But for CVs, you need date of birth because it's mostly academic driven, research driven, project driven.
So you need that. You need your date of birth. If you are doing a blend of this and this, you also don't need the date of birth. Try to, because of the Nigerian environment that's using some bias. For instance, if somebody has maybe BSc, maybe OND, BSc, MSc, right? And the recruiter typically would have shortlisted that person. Once the recruiter sees that this person was born in 1995, like, this one's too young, go. Like, someone just go school on time. You understand? It becomes a problem now that this person is also too young. But where it is not there, let it get to the interview stage. I cannot go talk about that. I remember one position I would have gotten. Went to the interview online, a foreign job. We are discussing not a foreign job, but a foreign interview, but in a Nigerian company. There's a multinational, and it was like, after everything, you have wonderful, you understand everything I need, but how old are you? He said, no, are you sure you are this or you are that? I said, no, this is what I am. I say, okay, sorry about that. That if they are not shortlisted me because I'm too young for the position. I have everything they need, but I'm too young. It's a group HR position. They needed somebody above 40. And that was just how that's left. So that we've answered NYC and the age. Thank you so much.
Okay. I trust we are done for today.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so if you have any other question, any other concern, please feel free to drop them in the comment section. You can come back any day, anytime to rewatch this, and please share with your friends. And like I said, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, just anywhere you can. Just search for IIPM International, and then you will find us there. Okay. If you've not joined the WhatsApp group, I'm pressing that again. So please join our WhatsApp group. And you can also visit our website to check some of our courses. All right. Thank you so much for your time, and do enjoy a wonderful, wonderful evening. For me, signing out. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you. Bye.